Protect the diffuser. Position compromised. Operators, you are out of time.
And hello everybody, how are you all doing tonight? I for one hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. I'll be your host for tonight, Hans. As always, tonight's matchup isn't going to be between 5-Man and Arsenal Esports, but rather between MishMash Gaming and Broker and DarkSide Gaming. There we go. Both teams are not United Kingdoms, but rather United States. Both teams are American, and I am absolutely, totally not late by any stretch of the imagination, which is totally not why I am still finishing like overlay stuff under your nose. And as I say this, a few things might need to be updated. You know what? If I just do this and do this, no, that's not enough. Come here. And I go back here, it should re-update, and there you have it. Correct team names above us. Okay, so yeah, I am totally not late tonight. That is not that's not what's happening currently. So Kenny, you are going to be receiving the not sure if they have updated yet. Okay, there we have it. And for DarkSide Gaming, we're gonna have a certain one for Joker.dsg. DSG being for DarkSide Gaming. And yes. So like I said, definitely not late in the slightest. How are you all doing tonight? Let me know. Who do you think is going to win it? Who are you here to root for? Do you even know any of those teams? Or are you just scouting them out as, you know, a representative from another match? By the way, there are going to be a few matches like happening in parallel tonight. I, of course, can only cast and cover one at a time. But just to keep you guys in the loop, in the know-how, to keep you guys informed, this one's going to be happening tomorrow. NTNS Gaming against Arsenal Esports are playing tonight, aka right now. Also, 5-Mans against Surf Esports Academy are playing as we speak as well. And that is pretty much it. There is going to be an announcement made by not MishMash Gaming, but by Surf Esports tomorrow. So I don't know if you guys can see, it's quite small. Plus, I'm kind of missing out on the map and part of the stream. But Surf Esports will be announcing something tomorrow. Not to steal their thunder, so I'm not going to be mentioning what I believe it is going to be. But if I'm correct, it may have an impact on our league, like them restructuring or updating a few things on their end. May have some repercussions on ours, which is why I will keep my mouth shut for tonight, as once again, to not steal their thunder, but expect an announcement from us tomorrow. If I'm right. If I'm wrong, I just said this to not mean anything at all. Yeah, so furthermore, let's just add the logos to the teams. I think that would be a good idea. So DAL NA, teams logo, season 2, MishMash's logo is right here. And for the broker crew, or rather DarkSide Gaming, here we are. Update this. And yes, team logos. That's looking mildly better. So as you can already tell, our first map of the night is going to be Villa. Second one will be Cafe Dostoyevsky. And yeah, so two maps that aren't exactly like the most often played, that aren't exactly the ones that you see day in and day out. And I mean, for example, at a professional level, basically every map is going to be played because they play that much. But on a more amateur level, I mean, for example, I couldn't cite the last time I've seen Theme Park being played, which is, like I said, a part of the factor to explain why I'm slightly surprised at the current outcome. But hey, stuff happens. So yeah, MishMash Gaming's pick was Villa, of course. Therefore, DarkSide Gaming, yeah, they get to pick on which side they want to spawn on, and they're going to be beginning on defense. The opposite is going to hold true for Cafe, aka it was DarkSide's pick. So MishMash, they do get to decide, and they chose to attack first. Last but not least is going to be Argon. And like I always say, this overlay is not going to show us which team gets to attack or to defend first. And therefore, I will make sure to let you guys know. And it looks like we have chosen MishMash Gaming will defend first, DarkSide Gaming will attack on Oregon, should it come to that. As always, you guys know that if you hit in the chat !vote, and that has nothing to do with the US elections, but you can let us know who you're rooting for, who do you think is going to win the match tonight. With the 3 minutes delay, the magic is that you already have the link to use, but I still have to create it in the real now present time. That was absolutely a correct sentence in English. So let me just create this, and then we'll be preparing the invites for the players. So we're talking about bot chat commands, custom commands, vote. Paste that one, and this one can be disabled because we don't need it right now. Awesome. So let's fire up Uplay, and also last but not least, let's also display the vote here, shall we? I think that could also be a good idea. And there we have it, don't we? It should show up eventually. Yeah, it'll pop up. There we go. There we go. Awesome. So with that being said, also the new operator has been revealed, or teased, should I say? But in the meantime, let's fire up the game and see what we can do. The players' names. Yeah, their Uplays are going to be exactly or extremely similar to their gilded handles. So should be able to find them pretty easily. I'm hyped. Let's go, MishMash baby. That's the kind of hype. That's the kind of energy you wanna see, right? Real quick, just to get myself situated, MishMash will be attacking on the first map and on the second map, actually. Okay, so they will absolutely be keeping the blue side or the blue team once we're in the game proper, which is why I don't have to like switch the names in the overlay above us. But now I have started up the game. It should fire up momentarily. There we go. It should fire up momentarily, and just as I say this, it's just about ready to go. Yep, I gotta say, it looks like MishMash Gaming are a well-established org, or more established org than DarkSide Gaming. I mean, not to diss or anything, right? That's not what I'm intending by making those statements. But for example, DarkSide don't even have a Twitter presence. I mean, they may be active on Facebook or YouTube or other social media platforms. But if you don't have Twitter, I mean, Twitter is one of the basic ones to be in, right? I'm not even talking about, having a presence in really niche platforms such as Mastodon, right? And therefore, I saw MishMash's tweet, right, saying, "Hey, come and support our guys." So, which is why I wouldn't be too surprised if the chat, or if chat was to be supporting MishMash Gaming more than DarkSide, because MishMash do have a community, which is something I feel like DarkSide are more or less lacking, or don't have a well-established community at the very least. And there we have it. The !vote command is being used. That is nice. That is nice. Oh, Kenny, I know who you're voting for, Kenny. Yourself, maybe? Well, if you're not voting for yourself, yeah, I'm gonna have questions. Are you actively hoping you lose? I don't see why. Oh gosh, already 50-50. That's not what I was expecting. After making like this long-winded explanation as to why I would expect most of the chat to be supporting MishMash Gaming. By the way, Kenny, here is your invite, and Joker DSG, here is yours. Also, first map is going to be Villa, like we said. Wait, DarkSide Gaming have more. Let the thing update. There you go. DSG has more votes than the other way around. And by the way, like I said, we may wanna reload that because logos. Yeah, there we go. That looks better, doesn't it? Okay, yeah. So we said Villa was the map. DSG MishMash. That's awesome. Yeah. Also, it's just gonna be the other way around though. MishMash, MishMash, MishMash Gaming, and the other team is going to be DarkSide. There we go. Awesome. Oh boy. Okay, you guys are on the wrong sides though. Yeah, so just real quick, you appear to be on the wrong side. MishMash were attacking first, so I'm giving you the blue team. Sorry about that. And well, that was record time. Barry's here. Gibby saying, "Hey Barry." Oh, these two players appear to know each other. So hey guys, as soon as you are in the right teams and as soon as you are ready to go, I will be good too. Leech. Okay, so Leech got it. Hold down saying our best 3 maps. Oh, that seems to be some piece of good news for DarkSide Gaming. And also, hold on, since you seem... No, wait, hold on. Are you MMG or DarkSide? Wait, let me check. Oh, you're MishMash. Okay. Because I was going to ask about, like, DarkSide's standing and that kind of stuff. But you appear to be rooting for... Okay. Booyah. Though DarkSide, more like Fartside, please remain respectful, though, right? I mean... competition and good sportsmanship, all that good stuff is appreciated, but as soon as it gets, you know, toxic or I don't want to say defamatory. I'm lacking the proper word here, but rooting for your team is fine. It's actually encouraged, but rooting for your team by putting down the other team is something we don't like to see too much. With that being said, it looks like they are back. Awesome. So, you know the drill. Are you all ready to go? And are your mouses running?
One player starting, mouse, hold on.
Perfect. MishMash, what about you guys?
I think, yeah, we're good.
Perfect. So, DarkSide, whenever you give us a thumbs up, we'll be starting the match.
We are good to go.
Awesome. Well, you know the drill. Good luck, have fun. May the best team win. And that's all news at this point. But Echo is allowed. He is no longer soft banned. Good luck, have fun. And with that being said, we are good to go. Yes. This is running as intended perfectly. And if I come here in match control. Yeah, so like I said, I was surprised to see that DarkSide Gaming has more supporters according to the vote. So yeah, let's see what's gonna happen, but I am really interested in the dynamic that's going to be presented tonight. DarkSide, of course, defending first, get the first ban. What kind of attacker do you ban? Thatcher. I was gonna say Thatcher or Jackal are the usual picks, but it looks like they were faster than me. That countdown jumped to 3, 2, 1 pretty darn quickly. There was no hint of hesitation of any kind. MishMash Gaming are taking their time a little bit more. Either that or one of their players is just not clicking, which could also absolutely be possible. But IQ, that's an interesting pick because she does not get banned too often. I mean, she absolutely does have her worth. And I mean, G8 go Bird, right? You know what I mean. But does that kind of imply that they do like to, for example, toss Valkyrie cameras outside in the palm trees or wherever? This map doesn't really have palm trees, but you get the idea. And thus, you know, IQ being the perfect counter to that. If you ban the counter, then the Valkyrie camera outside playstyle becomes so much more viable. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but Wamai is pretty self-explanatory, right? If you don't want to be dealing with nade counters, ban the guy that counters the nades. And Echo, finally, he's no longer soft banned, but that just means that the players will have to ban him outright themselves, starting now, basically. And with that being said, we're going to be good to... DarkSide Gaming, why do you have like this square in the middle of your... So. Kitchen and dining room will be the DarkSide's first defense. That's going to be interesting because you would hardly ever suspect, or you would hardly ever expect a team to go there first thing in the beginning of the round or at the beginning of the match. So let's see what comes of it. It might truly be their preferred bomb site. I mean, there's nothing that would prevent them from strat there first and foremost and use this as their primary go-to strategy. Or, and that might maybe be the more likely option, DarkSide are defending here simply because MishMash won't expect this kind of defense first and foremost, and therefore the team composition they bring into the table will be tailored towards a top floor push, you know, aviation and games room, and then they're just gonna have to more or less make do with what they have to end up pushing into kitchen. Not that this would be a particularly dire situation for a MishMash. I mean, to present it in an easy way, top floor verticality or soft destruction could be extremely important, considering, you know, the bomb sites, and Sledge just so happens to be in the team's composition, so it wouldn't be like too big of a loss because that playstyle would still be entirely viable. Hard breach operators are there. Counter roam, well, maybe a bit less so. You don't have a Jackal per se, and he hasn't been banned, which is somewhat of an oddity considering that we're in a comp match. But not that MishMash are absolutely going to need him, right? They can still make extremely efficient use of operators and just, you know, entry frag operators and drones to flush out those roamers, which is what Char and Maddox are basically doing right now, right? Gibby is droning for him, and Char was using, I want to say, Kenny's drone, and that's just going to bring us to a first kill. That's actually an entry frag, which allows us to basically already be knocking on OBJ's door, right? Barry is going to see that, and he knows he's receiving pressure. That knife shot could be interesting. It did not get shot out midair. Maddox is losing a lot of health, but Diffuser is being planted. And it looks like we're being quite aggro to protect us, but no. Frag and refrag in rapid succession. 2v4 situation already, and Diffuser has been put down. This is no small feat for MishMash Gaming. Somebody's throwing over there. He's going to get a nice kill. And oh, Joker. If he's not cautious. To the right, there is Sledge. But no. Didn't even know he was there. Now Leech, of course, is going to have a bit more intel. He's going to go for the wallbang game, but I mean, Kenny knows his position has been revealed. Therefore, he had to move out a little bit. That was just enough to not get wallbanged. And there you have it. Maddox, Maddox for a MishMash is going to get the final kill. Put a swift end to a swift round, and wow, MishMash, they did not disappoint and they did not hesitate. They saw an opening and they went straight for the throat. That's the kind of aggressive playstyle as a spectator that you do like to see. But if you're a DSG supporter, if you're a DarkSide gaming fan, this is a rough opening, a rough first impression as far as, you know, the clash goes. Skullboy saying, I'm better than both of these teams combined. That is a big statement. But hey, if you can back it up, back those words up with proper actions, want to participate in next season's competition, wink wink, nudge nudge, well then show us what you got is all I gotta say. Skullboy, you know that MishMash has Maddox, right? Oh, and now there comes the problems. Good players to be bested, that's no easy feat, usually at least. That's kind of like the point of being good and competing. Well, I might be stumbling over my own words because I'm going way too much in details about, you know, seemingly trivial things. That's just me. At this point, you should come to expect it. But, so, DarkSide Gaming, they lost. They could have absolutely gone kitchen again, but of course, this was a one-off thing, kind of testing the waters, and it looks like this experiment was, I'm not gonna mince words here, another failure for DSG. They lost a point, but it's only 1 point at the beginning of the map, so let's just hope for their sake that they're gonna be able to not suffer such another crushing defeat, you know, too quickly or too often. As I am being attacked by a vicious yawn, that really did cut off my last sentence short at the very end there. Sorry about that. So, MishMash Gaming will be encircled from the top floor from a few different angles at once. Maddox and Char from, you know, the walk-in closet. Looks like Axis is contemplating coming in through the window. Kenny is going to have this window by the balcony for himself. And that's 3 attackers. Gibby still outside over there. And the last one would appear to be one of the drones. So I'm not exactly sure, for example, where Char is droning from. But you get the gist of it, right? Pushing in from the north side, going towards 90 hallway. Gibby's probably breaching over there. Yeah, he is actually breaching into Gunvolt. Leech, oh no, that's a Gunvolt. It is actually Games Room. Interesting, because Leech is like really exposed, right? That pool table is no cover. Or no real cover, it's cover in name only, right? So he's gonna be sorely exposed whenever he gets pushed or whenever they try to probe the defenses, which is gonna be a bit of a danger. Oh, and there's a grenade being tossed. I was thinking maybe they're trying to even lob it to Leech's feet. Maybe they know he's there. Apparently not. They were going for the electricity, and that seemingly failed. And just like last time I casted, I was actually casting DarkSide's previous match, and I could not find the electric claw. Not in third person. In first person, nobody ended up looking at it. So I don't know where exactly they're placing it. But they're sneaky and tricky with their electric claws placement, and that is what you do like to see. Lighter, be careful with your caps locks. The bot doesn't like that too much. Like, he's handing up 30 seconds band left and right. It's only 30 seconds, so nothing too major, but still beware. The bot has a pretty short fuse, or should I say, pretty tight restrictions. It looks like, oh, yeah, right here. He is going to try to come in, but now there's an air jab. So, sadly, Magoyu can no longer push in too aggressively, and he knows that. He's kind of confined to the bottom of the staircase. Can't put a lot of pressure as much as he wants to. But actually getting a kill proper is going to be a bit more challenging. And I just missed out on everything. Axis already last player alive, doesn't get a single kill. And that was a flawless round for DarkSide Gaming. So I did comment something along the lines of, well, for their sake, I do hope that DarkSide Gaming will not be losing too many rounds in such a brutal manner as the first one. And they did not disappoint. It happened once, but no more is basically what they thought and what they acted on, basically. And yes, Axis, last player alive, probing, but not succeeding in the slightest, leading to a flawless round for the DarkSide Gaming team, of course. And therefore, well, if this first round was a bit of a blow to their morale, I don't know if it actually was. I'm not in comms with them. But if it was, well, this very last round, the second one, will have gone a long way to recuperating maybe this, hesitation in the back, lingering in the back of their minds. So there was a games, MishMash, DarkSide by winning. Okay. After winning games, of course, it's going to be a trophy in statues defense. The cursor still there. Aces reinforcing these two walls. It's typical stuff right here. Every single wall will have been reinforced. It's an oddity that Joker felt the need to go on the other side of the wall to reinforce in the first place. So maybe it was due to like wanting to destroy the drone or something. But oh, here we have it. It's because he wants to reinforce those parts of the wall towards the walking closet. Other than that, where are the other reinforcements? Because that's just like 3, 2, that's 5, 2 more, 7. There are 3 more potential panels on the team as a whole, but no, only a few barricades here and there. So, and that also absolutely does indicate an extended hold for DarkSide Gaming. Of course, Mag is going to roam there, but the thing I found surprising was that Aces is going to basically cut off any escape point for him, and that's a bit odd. But MishMash Gaming will not be hesitating, and they will not be wasting 1 second already. You know, Maddox is breaching down those barricades, and they're inching their way forward. Looks like Leech will be expecting and waiting for them. But at this point, really, the next question is going to be who will actually win this face-to-face firefight. The gunfight can really go either way. Expecting somebody to be in red stairs, but we know that it's not the case. The players, however, can't see through the walls. Gibby poking or, probing another angle has the potential to be really interesting, because that could, in theory, at least divert a few resources. Basically, every single gun right here is aimed towards the top of the red stairs. And, oh, right there, for example, Kenny getting the kill on Leech. Magoyus. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, so I'm hesitating every single time I'm getting it in this player's POV. But he has the potential to roam back up. It's pretty interesting. I don't believe he's been spotted out so far. Joker's also looking at the top of the red stairs, but that's exactly where Gibby comes in. The opening he's creating can be a game changer. It is possibly going to wreak havoc in the defenders' minds and coordination. They were all looking at the one angle, except for Barry, because he was by astronomy just in case, right? And now this entirely new front line opens up to them unexpectedly, and they have to reorganize accordingly. That's going to be a bit of a surprise, and they have to react quickly. They did. Nobody died as a direct result of the wall being breached. But yeah, pressure is mounting. It looks like the expect Magoyus to be there. I still absolutely hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm just gonna call you Mag. Yeah, Mag. So he went down a few stairs. He crouched. That very likely just saved his life there. But oh no, peeking right into Axis's line of fire. He's still alive, though. You know, his life really only hangs by a thread. So roaming might no longer be the most appealing option for him. Therefore, he is rotating, I would assume, back on site through Astronomy, which is not going to be too soon, as Char's going to get a kill on Aces. And therefore, well, replacing that lost player with, you know, a roamer getting back on side could be an interesting prospect. Axis planting, Gibby right here looking at the top of it. Nitro Cell, that was a Nitro Cell for you. So I guess that implies Joker was roaming, and therefore he has to come up the stairs. His movements will be predictable. Getting a kill on Char. Gibby last player alive. He's going to stick it through, though. And now in a 1v3 situation, he is just caught between a few different lines of fire. I didn't see a way out for him that, you know, had him win out in that situation. So death was the only option, which of course in turn allows DarkSide Gaming to destroy the diffuser, which of course is what happened. And there you have it, TSG now leading 2-1. So I'm kind of surprised, to be honest, and I'm just gonna allow myself to check up on something while the replays are playing, because of course MishMash Gaming, they are, I believe, the second team in their respective groups. Yes, especially Group B. They won every single game except the one they lost to OnlyFans. No, actually the third, because Thirsty Bastards have yet to suffer their first defeat. Okay, so I mean, still 3rd out of 8 is still a very, very good track record. Whereas DarkSide Gaming, the name in Guild is Broker Group. I mean, it's just an alias. Broker Group, DarkSide Gaming, they have 1 victory, 3 defeats. So that puts them in 6th place. If you were to use just, you know, basically the current standings as a crude way of measuring the team's skill level and to, you know, extrapolate from that who you would expect to see win, this is not the early round outcome I was expecting, or I wasn't. Well, expecting kind of implies that I'm rooting for MishMash Gaming. If my grasp of the English language is what I believe it is. So I'm just gonna say I was predicting MishMash Gaming having an easier time than they are right now, right? I mean, this first round was really brutal for DarkSide, but it seems like their capabilities of adapting, realizing how MishMash play and what the weaknesses of this playstyle are, well, that absolutely seems to be working. In gun skill, I am pleasantly surprised to see that they can absolutely hold their own, you know, in a face-to-face situation. Because that's the thing, right? From time to time in comp, you'll have like gold level players or low platinum level players who will be playing. And of course, competitions for everybody. We are a welcoming community. AKA, guys, please don't be toxic. Not that you are, but, you know, general message to the community as a whole. So we're welcoming to gold and maybe even silver players. But they're going to be losing their games more often than not. And I thought DarkSide Gaming fit into that category, you know, more than apparently they do. So I am pleasantly surprised on that front, because that makes for a good show. Kenny preparing a grenade right here. It did not even destroy the electricity. Once again, that is Cade. But where's the Electroclaw? It's over there. It is over there. DarkSide Gaming are really, really resourceful as far as Electroclaw placement goes. Oh, that's going to be an extra self, isn't it? Did he actually toss it? He still has it. Oh, he's using the cameras. That's the thing. No, that's not going to kill anybody. He reacted adequately, right? Reach just tossed an extra solid directly at this ledge opening. But Kenny was no longer there. He just opened it up. Didn't even look through the hole in the floor. And just went on his merry way, which in a sense saved his life. But at the same time, did he even try to get a kill? Mago use. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Barry right here in a firefight. Nitro Cell is not going to get tossed, so that is a bit unfortunate for him. Maddox thus getting a frag. Bleach is going to be the next one. Front lines, yeah. So, Mago use with a nasty double kill. And, you know, Jaeger mains do love to roam. I get that, but I'm still surprised in an analytical, you know, standpoint, or from an as an analyst, I find it somewhat surprising, because the kit isn't actually going to help out roaming. I mean, we're not talking about Kilvera or Vigil or, I don't know, Modsy or Pulse, right? The gun is absolutely good, don't get me wrong, But ever since he lost the ACOG, ancient history, he also lost a 3-speed, 1 armor properties. He's now a 2-2, also ancient history. But that should be a detriment to the Jaeger mains out there. But it looks like next to nobody was fazed by that, and you guys, the community as a whole, is still playing with him day in, day out. The results are there, but yeah, that's not something I would have expected when they updated the operator's kit and statistics. But there you have it. So Maddox getting a few kills, which we didn't exactly cover it in too much depth. Well, we were casting because I was talking about something else. But there you have it, 2-2 situation. Nothing too dramatic, but I gotta say, defense kind of is more or less the easier side. I mean, Rainbow Six is an asymmetrical game by design, so one side kind of has to be easier than the other. They do try their best to balance it as well as possible. Don't get me wrong, but it's not a perfect balancing act. And therefore, I would consider defense being slightly easier. Which is why, you know, MishMash keeping the score side might be the first indicator of trouble for DarkSide Gaming. I just think it's still possible, right? The game is still fairly young. We've only played 4 rounds at this point, so nothing is set in stone. But yeah, if the current trend continues, I would not be surprised if MishMash were to lead by, you know, a few points by round 7 or 8, simply because when they get the defense, well, they might not lose as many rounds. I really hope I'm explaining myself, or I really hope I'm explaining myself correctly, or it comes out the way I intended to. Because I, as a spectator, as the caster, as the referee, as the organizer, I have to remain absolutely neutral, which, believe me, I am. But I feel like when I think about what I'm saying, or what I just said, rather, I feel like it comes out as if I was in favor of MishMash. I really am not, and it's rare that I do make this, like, that I do take the time to point this out, so I hope you guys get what I'm trying to say. That drone was kind of, not necessarily glitched, but they usually, like, go up the stairs in a smoother manner instead of a jag, like, jumping up, every, you know, few seconds, or every few split seconds. Hey, so Magoyu is still roaming, you know, efficient as ever. However, the interesting tidbit is the fact that, of course, he is roaming with Jaeger. We talked about that, but Jaeger doesn't have an nitro cell, and the floor is entirely destructible, just like it was on statues. So, yeah, Mag playing with somebody like a Bandit or, I don't know, Pulse could have been maybe mildly interesting, as he is now not exactly in a good situation to deny a plant. If it was to come to that, the round is still, you know, very early on, very young. But a Nitro Cell has been pre-placed. That kind of does change everything. Nitro Cell is going to get destroyed. That should indicate to Mag that somebody's coming, but that somebody was Kenny, and he's no longer there. So it looks like Gibby just drowned, or somebody else drowned. They realize there's a potential danger, potential threat there. Somebody goes in, aka Kenny goes in. He gets the 1 kill, they destroys 1 Nitro Cell, and that's end of the story. As far as MishMash think it is, but that's not exactly the case. Right here, the grenade is likely going to kill him. Leech, he's going to fall down. Can get revived. Barry's probably going to take care of that. There you go. So, I mean, MishMash still got an advantage, but nothing as major as you would probably want to get by using a grenade. And it looks like somebody is going to peek that. Yeah, Joker taking a forward position. There's an ADS device right there. Oh no, it's being eaten up, so that means there's another one. Lucky for him, the shield is gonna stay up, but oh, he took a lot of fire with that second strafe there. Maddox being kind of dangerous, but now he doesn't want to peek anymore. He's out of grenades, and that would be a dangerous act to play. Still, there's an active threat, and he cannot just ignore them and turn around and keep on pushing into aviation. Gibby is not going to peek too much, but oh, right there, firefights are erupting. It feels like MishMash's health is being chipped away little by little, right? So Kenny took a few bullets on his side. Gibby there. Maddox also peeked the shield. That didn't work too great. And Barry and Joker. Barry and Joker getting 2 kills in rapid succession. Axis trying to tie the scores by fragging aces out, but still 2v3 situation. Yeah, Maddox with a kill of his own. But yeah, you can still feel the discomfort that they're at. Axis might want to come in and might want to plant. That's a nice kill by Maddox, but you know, oh, the flank's gonna get shut down by the Nomad. Now it is an actually critical situation. Barry has to deny that. He has a nitro, so I could maybe use it. He is gonna think of that. Is that gonna get the kill? It is gonna get the kill, but that was not on the birth of the diffuser. There you have it. As soon as Axis stands up, because the diffuser has been put down, well, he himself gets put down, leaving us
Diffuser disabled by
with
defenders.
Barry. Barry, last player alive, is gonna get an easy diffuser to destroy, and that's how they were able to win the round. Congratulations. Let's go with the replays. Wow. Yeah, that match is proving way more exciting than I expected it to be. So, DarkSide Gaming, you guys can absolutely take this as a compliment. I don't feel like MishMash are slacking off or that they're not being their usual selves. I don't think they're absolutely on fire. I don't think that they're like outdoing themselves either. They're just like playing at their average level.
To go.
So yeah, DarkSide, once again, you are the ones that are surprising me in the good sense of the term, of the word. So, congrats.
Attackers are activating the bomb.
Yeah, so this was a kitchen, no, not a
Defenders
kitchen. Whoa. Games room, DarkSide Gaming by diffusing the diffuser. Terminology in this game is a confusing. Yeah, so 3-2 scoreline. You know, I did comment on that earlier. You would typically consider two teams. It's a rough estimate, right? It's an approximate science, but you would typically consider two teams as being tied when the defenders are having a 4-2 split by the time the roll swap occurs, which would be after this round. Ergo, it might be more important for DarkSide to win this one than it would be for MishMash. I mean, nothing is too dramatic, nothing is set in stone, as I said before. But the general consensus would be that DarkSide need to run more than the MMG does. So let's see. Is it going to be a back and forth, or like that we've seen before, right? Or is it really just going to be DarkSide stepping up to the occasion? Because in one sense, the only 2 rounds that they've lost were in Kitchen. So if you were to look at historical data and take them forward for what they're worth, take them with a grain of salt. But you could expect, if you were to take this approach, you could expect DarkSide to win it out. Of course, like I said, historical data is to be taken with a grain of salt because it only gives a partial picture. Oh, that's a nice bait by Kenny. He forced him to drop down, and then, well, there's a no, aces. Yeah, that's the kind of mistakes you don't want to be making in comp, because it is just a risk he took, and he poorly calculated the risk he was taking, and that cost him roughly half his health. I'm grossly rounding up, granted, but that's not the kind of life or the kind of, you know, amount of health you want to be losing just because you chose wrong. Because, I mean, he's going to be severely disadvantaged going to his next firefight, and that can absolutely end up costing him his life. Magoyu's right here. He is, of course, still in the linchpin situation. If he denies access to the top of this red stairs, if he gets the kill on those 2 silhouettes over there, he can then turn around and deny 90 hallway, which would then basically force a push through the master's bedroom. But it's a heavy ask of him, right, to get a triple, maybe even a quad kill on his lonesome. Of course, it's not going to happen. Nice attempt has still been made. A lot of programmers saying DSG, DSG, DSG. Unfortunately, things are not looking too great for them now. They're in a 3v5 situation. Still have very good control over OBJ itself, so they could still deny a plant. But everything hangs in a very fragile balance. If Joker dies, I mean, A is basically lost. If Barry dies, B is basically lost. Leech would more or less be the ace hidden up their sleeve because he's, you know, underneath, so he could probably stick a nitro to the ceiling and deny a plant. With any luck, a double kill. With a lot of luck, maybe even a triple kill. But that's nothing that you can actually, you know, rely upon, because nitro cells, when you're blind, you don't have Valkyrie cameras, right? Valkyrie is not in that current composition. Yeah, it depends if they have good intel, if they know exactly where the diffuser is being planted. And of course, right here, Bear's gonna have to face off against a few attackers. Joker has just been pushed out. That nitro cell is not gonna kill anything, and that's exactly what I was referring to. Leech got a tread with the nitro cell to the ceiling. That didn't get anything. Sean and Kenny both getting a kill in rapid succession. Now Joker has to pull off an ace with, I want to say, 20 HP left. I don't see this happening, but if he gets it, it is going to be an amazing clutch. But no! Gibby was holding the angle. You could see that Joker was not, you know, unaware. He knew there was a threat there. He was just unsuccessful in neutralizing it. So there you have it. Gibby winning the round for MishMash Gaming, and thus prompting a 3-3 split for the roll swap for the halftime mark. So at this point, yeah, DSG, you guys are going to have to be winning a few more attacks than what would be considered, well, easy or expected in a sense. So best of luck to you. Another programmer saying, bury a goat. Well, you know what? This makes me think about a little something. As soon as the replays are done, last defense was a trophy MishMash victory. Yeah, let's see just how goats these players are. I didn't want to click that. God damn it. So, Barry, 4 kills, 3 deaths. Joker, 5-4. Aces really appears to be the top fragger here. And on MishMash Gaming, it's going to be Maddox. Whenever you have like one player that has a heck of a lot of kills, and whenever he stands out, thing is, he's an obvious target. So if, you know, kills-wise, if Maddox was to be eliminated, DarkSide Gaming would have a pretty clear and straightforward path to victory. Same here. If Aces is to die, well, then the rest of the team together, they're going to have a hard time. Which is, I mean, to be expected. Whenever you have a list or an order, I mean, most kills to least kills, somebody's going to be the first in the list and somebody's going to be the last in the list. But if the performances were to be extremely similar, you wouldn't have like this obvious situation of cut off the head and the rest of the body will fall down. That's not the exact expression, but you get what I mean. Oh, Maddox spawn killing? Spawn killing with a double kill this early on. Oh gosh, DarkSide will be facing a 3v5 situation for the rest of the round. You can see that. You can feel Joker is extremely uncomfortable here. And Ace is just saying, okay. And, you know, going back to what I was saying, if Aces dies, he's the top fragger for DarkSide Gaming. The rest of the team are going to be facing an extremely uphill battle, which is, of course, amplified by the fact that they're at a numerical disadvantage. I'm stating the obvious here, but, I mean, this is not going to be a comfortable situation for DSG at all. And I did want to emphasize that. Joker's droning, Magoyus is droning, Leech, they're all pushing on their own, and that might also be problematic because, say Magoyus, if he was to lose his firefight, there's nobody remotely close to refrag or to use the knowledge of, you know, where was the play that shot you, where was the play that killed you, so that I can, you know, refrag or use that knowledge to my advantage. So, yeah, being isolated might be the worst thing for them right now, as numerical disadvantage being a bitch. You may want to do what you can to well, deny that disadvantage too much, right? It looks like Joker also lost his life in some firefight, which we didn't see. So, Magoyus linking up with Leech is really a good thing right now. And that's just the extent of like the good news I can give them. They have all 100 of their hit points left. And they do have the diffuser. It's not as if you had to recover it because some runner caught the barrel of the diffuser. But we're talking about like meager pieces of good news. That entry point is going to be extremely predictable, right? There's a silhouette right there. Yeah, it's got to be Gibby with a shotgun. He is by the doorway. Not that somebody is at the top of the red stairs, but that could also be a nice cross angle that MishMash Gaming could be holding on DarkSide. And finally, of course, somebody could be peeking through the opening. Actually, there is a silhouette in the red stairs. So you can see that they're absolutely being pinched, and that is where the numerical disadvantage comes into play. He's going to try to change or to keep the momentum going, looking for almost getting one taps. That's just too much, man. He gets one, but of course Magoyus was not going to be able to chain them up. And even if Shar was to die, somebody else probably was working on a push from the study area. So yeah, they did their best. They damn tried, right? You can't take that away from them. They absolutely wanted to salvage the round instead of just giving up. But at some point, it's just too much to ask for, from them. The good news, though, is it was a painful learning experience. But DarkSide Gaming, they're no bots. They're no brain all-in players. And they're going to realize that, hey, spawn killing seems to be within MishMash's habits. So now that we know that, let's act accordingly to not fall victim to a spawn killing playstyle again. Once again, unfortunate that you have to lose a round to realize that, but that's just the nature of the beast to some extent. So hey, okay. Yeah, I'm receiving Discord notifications. As you may or may not know, there's like three matches going on in parallel tonight. The players do get to decide when they want to schedule their match. Flexible scheduling is, I believe, one of the perks of this of our league, since it allows for the players to, well, if they have something that comes up, some homework that needs to be done, a family gathering, or anything that forces them to stay late at work, it's not going to mess with their gaming schedule. But at the same time, it means that if many matches are underway at the same time, as is the case right now, I have to keep an eye on Discord should something be amiss or something be wrong with another match. So yeah, MishMash Gaming not spawn killing too much though. Oh, bullet holes, knifing once. There is a sword over there though. Thing is, the pane of glass was just cracked, not properly destroyed, and therefore he could not really see outside. Yeah, but Gibby is going to be in aviation room receiving some amount of pressure from study. Nothing too major, but of course Aces and Joker would be the two typical entry fragger and you know, all frag heavy playstyle operators. Gibby might be pushed back, but ultimately the thing is, I don't really like pushing from study because your movements become so predictable, right? There's only two doorways coming in from that room. Nobody is going to be at the top of the red stairs, but that still makes the movements really, really predictable, which is why Gibby is basically holding the choke point right here with the doorway. But Joker's going to get a natural assault to the ceiling. Looks like Kenny was able to finish him off as well. Trying to get the refrag there. That doesn't work too well. That doesn't work out too well. McGee's gets Char, but I mean, it's Kenny they were after at the end of the day, and that's the issue. That camera right there has been figured out, but just too late. And I mean, at this point, I don't really think Aces is still actively expecting somebody to be right there, and he would be right. Gibby had just bailed out on aviation room, something which I personally had not realized. There's still going to be a bit of a mixed bag in the sense that you have roamers or roamer singular Maddox at the bottom of the staircase, and the attackers are also absolutely working on a few different angles at once. So McGillius right here, Leech probably already have, yeah, I mean we saw it previously actually, he did open up the reinforced wall. Barry and Aces will be linking up. So actually no, it's not as diversified and, you know, coming from every single angle. Almost seeming disorganized push that I thought we had. Really similar to what MishMash did in a sense. Leech right here opening up the wall to create cross angles and to, you know, limit the kind of angles that MishMash can hide behind. Plus creating a distraction to then allow the real push, aka Aces, Barry, and Maguyus, coming from 90 hallway. Gibby right here. Shotgun can be dangerous if you pull the trigger, but at that range, you probably wouldn't have gotten a one-hit kill. Aces chaining this up with another double kill. MishMash got that big defense energy. Tracy is saying diffuser is being planted, and Axe is going to be working the flank. Axis probably has a good shot. No. Probably does not mean 100% does. There you have it, one kill. Kenny knows, oh, that's a triple. So if he gets to two more, that's going to be a nice clutch. So hey, show us what you are made out of, Kenny, but at the same time, DarkSide Gaming will not be just throwing the round, right? They're going to be trying their damn best. Pre-fires can be dangerous. He sees the diffuser but cannot get to it. Oh, and had that been a pre-fire from Barry, would have been extremely dangerous. Quad kill, but now the timer is running out. He is not. Is he going to get the ace? He is going to get the ace. And now, yes, MishMash Gaming will be winning this round. Yeah, it'll be close, but they'll get it. They'll get it. Yeah, was it 0.64 seconds remaining, I believe? The numbers fall down so quickly. But hey, at the end of the day, I feel like I didn't put enough energy into that round because, goddamn, he pulled off a 1v3 clutch, got the ace, and destroyed the diffuser, while under 1 second of, margin of error he was working on. Amazing plays, and I don't want to take this away from him. And you know what? That's the kind of thing we should record, because I believe we could put this in a best of highlights compilation type YouTube video. So yeah, Trissy's saying MishMash got big defense energy. I don't know if you just activated them or if that's like their secret phrase, but goddamn, did Kenny absolutely rose up to the occasion. And I gotta say, this is also probably going to be giving them a boost of confidence, energy, and just sheer willpower in a sense. And that can go a long way to help them win their future rounds. So surprisingly enough, ever since the diffuser has been planted, the diffuser also has been destroyed. I'm not sure if it's gonna pop if I was to show rounds history. Update. What is it gonna look like? Right there. So yeah, diffuser's been planted twice. Yeah, and also hide it now because yeah, matches are going to start. Yeah, I am. If I was like only casting or if I was only producing, my timing would be way better because we might almost have missed out on a spawn kill right there. But I mean, you get the idea. As soon as the diffuser gets planted, it also gets destroyed by the attackers, which is something that's kind of odd because statistically speaking, once the diffuser has been put down by the attackers, the side attacking team now has a, once again, statistically speaking, from history, 80% chance of winning the round. Oh, was it 70? I'm pretty sure it was 80. Wow. Yeah, that does not sound confident at all. Or I don't sound convincing at all. You know, very, very high chance of winning. You get it, right? Attackers have taken control of OBJ. Attackers, or defenders actually, who are now forced into an attacking role, don't exactly have attacking hits. Think of like Melusi or Jaeger, hardly equipped to actually take back map control. And yeah, time pressure also flipping over. That's nothing that that's nothing to sneeze at. But this way too long parenthesis aside, yeah, Castle was there, Axis was holding the angle since the very beginning. It seems like DarkSide, they knew that, but they were just powerless to actually, you know, go face to face with a proper firefight and win said firefight. But Maddox got a kill from the verticality, it seems, thus creating a 3v5 situation. Ah, Trissy being overly excited for the clutch, and thus getting banned by the bot. Only 30 seconds ban, nothing too major. But yeah, when I said it was brutal for MishMash's momentum and energy, look at that. So, oh, is Maddox actually going to be running out? Yeah, he's trying something crazy aggressive right now. And that's the thing, right? I feel like they're being way more active than you would expect them to be in a sense, right? Taking extremely aggressive angles. Just like, for example, just look at what Axis has been doing the entire round. He's staring directly at a window, not even exactly hiding himself or anything, you know, unapologetically shooting outside the way that would be immediately punished by any other attacker in any other game. So that ace clutch diffuser destroyed was an amazing confidence booster for MishMash Gaming, and that also kind of seems to have crushed DarkSide Spirit. They're not going to be using that as a tactical timeout, definitely. Leech probably won't be getting the ace, and he probably won't even try. So yeah, now at this point, this round has been almost assuredly won by MishMash Gaming. Ergo, we're staring down the barrel of a 6-3 scoreline. It would, yeah, Sharm seems to want that kill. It would be an extremely uphill climb for DarkSide. Do I expect them to win 3 rounds in a row? I gotta say, sadly not. In the sense that, you know, they won 3 rounds total. 2 of them were in a row, I believe, I want to say, but that was on defense. DarkSide did win an attacking round, I think. No, they haven't actually. Wait, they haven't? Then how come? Oh, yes. Wait, they did win on Trophy Games Room. My rounds history is off. I realize that now.
Operators, you are out of time.
Unfortunate. Unfortunate. No, wait, it's not. It's not. I'm done. Because this was a kitchen defense that MishMash won. Thanks for the time, Ergo 6-3 situation. And yes, so every single round that DarkSide has won was on defense. They won 2 rounds back to back. But once again, you know, historical data is one thing, but that's not what we're actually after. Our question is, can they win 3 rounds in a row to bring this into overtime? And from that point on, maybe, hopefully, win the map. And to that, I would have to say no. Like I said, repeating myself because I couldn't get it straight the first time around. They won 3 rounds, but not on attack. So if they win 1 round on attack, sure, there has to be a first for everything.
10 seconds
But
left
they
before
haven't
insertion.
shown us That's the 3 rounds since the role swap that they're able of consistently and constantly winning their points, which is what they have to do now that they're put in a do-or-die situation. Okay, that was convoluted and confusing. Maddox seemingly wants to spawn kill yet again. I mean, I wouldn't blame him for taking this kind of aggressive risks because it seems to be working every single time. At the very least, if they don't get kills when they run out, MishMash's players are rarely, if ever, sanctioned for running out. That's item number 1. And item number 2, well, DarkSide aren't exactly in a situation to be taking any risks, whereas MishMash can allow themselves to try one thing or two. But hey, till then, there is a lot of aggressive roamers out there. So Maddox, of course, Statue of Room, looking into Master's bedroom. Char is going to be in Trophy and Astronomy. And I believe Gibby is also on site. No, if not Gibby, it's going to be somewhere else's. Kenny, the man himself, looking at the kitchen area. No attacker is going to be coming from kitchen, but I mean, that's not something he seems to be aware of right now. So the really aggressive and spread out roaming presence makes it so that there's basically no free entry point for the attackers. They're gonna have to fight tooth and nail for any kind of map control they want to get. That's gonna be a first kill, nicely done. But now Char, that's exactly what I was talking about. He turns around and he's there just to pick up the slack. So he is gonna get the refrag, but that's not everything. Joker's gonna be there. If Bear works in tandem with him, he could probably get outflanked. But for the time being, it looks like Joker is working alone. And oh, he was droning! No! Barry is just too slow to turn around. But luckily for him, Char is not going to be in a position to want to, force his advantage more than necessary. But that doesn't mean by a long shot that, your resident Mods, he just goes back on site and hides with the rest of his teammates. He's still, the active, roaming threats. But the good news is he's no longer roaming exactly where he was before, aka it allows DarkSide Gaming to at the very least group up together, and now they're going to be in a position to refrag each other, to, work together. They're not isolated is what I'm trying to get at, which is something they did do last time around, unfortunately. That NitroSide is pre-placed, but it's not going to get detonated right here, right now. If not... Oh, wait, Barry's coming in? No, he's not. Just like Char got a free kill on Joker, he almost exposed himself to be freely killed by Barry, which would have been kind of, I want to say, poetic in the sense that he capitalizes on a huge mistake by an opponent, and then an opponent capitalizes on a huge mistake. Well, you could argue that this rotation unchecked was a huge mistake, but it is not too little too late. I don't see a way for Barry to get a triple kill. And there you have it. That last kill by Kenny was just a formality. And MishMash Gaming will be winning the first map, of course, stating the obvious. But furthermore, they're winning with a very, very comfortable lead. So a 7-3 is nothing to sneeze at. It wasn't close by any stretch of the imagination. So should the current energy and current momentum just keep on going, yeah, it could very well carry MMG, at the very least for the first moments of the next game. So at this point, DSG might very well ask for a 5 minutes break, take this as a tactical timeout, talk amongst themselves, figure out what they can do, because MishMash, yeah, you don't want to go up against them unprepared, as they've shown us, well, in this first map, basically. So yeah, let's just ask the players in game chat. Oh yeah, so I see you guys are asking for a 5 minutes break. Perfect, so we'll be starting around roughly 9:10.
Seconds to go. Attackers drop the bomb diffuser.
Perfect. So yeah, of course, with a delay, you guys are hearing this around 9:08. So for you guys, we'll be starting, accounting for the delay in the stream, we'll be starting the game roughly around 9 o'clock 13. 9:13. That's the way you usually say it. Okay. Yes. So let me just finalize this round's history. Check. Enemies killed. It was for killing the enemy. So if I update this and update that, and now MishMash Gaming are tagged as having the point. So yeah, I mean, I'm no analyst, so this is the part where a proper analyst would then come in and say, well, hey, this is what MishMash did great, this is where DarkSide fell short, and that's why we won the map. But since that's not exactly how I think, how I cast, what the kind of details I do pick up on, I'll be just stating the obvious instead. So if we look at the vote here, the early vote was going, and I say vote, and I'm just thinking about the American elections because that's all we heard for the last week. You guys are probably as fed up with it as I am. But yeah, so at the bottom of the screen, DarkSide Gaming had like a 60% to 40% lead, something like that. And yeah, it looks like MishMash, they were able to overturn the expected outcome expected by you guys. And right now we're trending at 50-50. So it looks like half the chat still truly expects DarkSide to win it out. And I gotta say, I see where you guys are coming from. Round number 2 was a flawless round for DarkSide. They didn't lose a single player when defending. It was Games Room Aviation. Well, of course, it was Games Room Aviation. And after the brutal first round loss, or the brutal first round, where brutal loss for DarkSide, the brutal first victory for MishMash, I was kind of worried for DarkSide. Is it going to set the tone? Are we going to be seeing like a 7-1, 7-2, 7-3? Isn't that far off, by the way. But yeah, we're going to be seeing this lopsided, one-sided match. Well, the very next round just says the exact polar opposite. DarkSide Gaming just, winning a map, winning a round in a way that you wouldn't have thought possible on comparing with the round we saw just before. So that kind of gave me hope to see led me to believe that we would see a very, very interesting matchup. It was interesting, don't get me wrong. But yeah, DarkSide's moments of glory, or DarkSide's highlights, were far and few in between, unlike MishMash, who just won their rounds constantly. Real quick, since again receiving Discord notifications, it is not going to be regarding the tournaments. Okay, so another thing I do want to point out is there is 3 matches going on tonight in parallel. Of course, I can only cast one at a time. The one between NTNS Gaming and Arson Esports. I don't believe they did put it into the game calendar channel. No, I'm just going to put it in here just for logging sake. NTNS. Arson Esports, that was beginning tonight at 8:00. If you give yourself 3 hours, that's roughly till 11 p.m. So yeah, 3 matches going on at the same time. I could, of course, only cast one. But that also kind of implies that if they're all bunched together on one single day, they're not spread out, and thus, as a total amount of casted games this week, the amount will be slightly lower. Plus, if you wanted to scout out 5-mans against Surf Esports or NTNS against Arson, those matches, like I said, won't be covered. As far as tomorrow's concerned, if I was just to make a few announcements, one thing I do realize that the screen here is quite small, or that this display is quite small on you guys' with the in the screen. I got distracted because Surf Esports, they have made an announcement. Big updates and announcements today. Stay tuned. I believe I know what announcements they're about to make. And that announcement, like them restructuring or rechecking or reevaluating how they do things internally, maybe have an impact on how we run our tournaments, or maybe interact with us in the sense that they're a part of our tournaments. But I don't want to steal their thunder. Of course, it's their announcements, so I am going to keep my mouth shut until they make their announcements, and then tomorrow I will maybe react to how this impacts us. So that's also something you may want to keep an eye out on. And last but not least, tomorrow there's going to be two matches. I will not be in a position to cast either of them because I do also have scheduling restrictions from time to time. But luckily for us, Astral VFX on Twitch will be casting the match between Thirsty Bastards Gaming and was it Freezing Frog? I want to say Polar Pandas. My bad. Against Thirsty Bastards and Polar Pandas. So the match between 15% and Freezing Frog will likely not be casted, which is a shame, but I mean, it happens. And that's the gist of it. It would be roughly time to start the game anew, or to start the next match, but I'm receiving Discord notifications, which of course, as always, I do have to keep an eye on. Okay, yeah, but that's once again somebody reminding me of an engagement, or not an engagement. That's not the proper translation. I did agree to do something for them, and now they are asking me to keep my word. A commitment I took. Yes, commitment. Because commitment would be translated in French to un engagement. Je m'engage to do something. And then if you want to translate it the same, use the French word in English, that's a totally different meaning. Okay, so those roughly 5 minutes are up. Are you guys ready to go again? I know it's not the right map and anything, but are you guys ready to go? Yes, you're good. MishMash, what about you guys?
Yeah.
Perfect. So let me just update the map, the team names, and then we're going to be good to go. If you did stop your mouse after the first map, now would be a good time to start it anew. So yes, our second map of the night is going to be Café de Siesky. MishMash Gaming is starting on attack again. Oh, actually, okay, so Café was the next one in the list by random, so we don't have to update that, but let's just still set a bunch of team names. First one being MishMash, no need for gaming, and DarkSide. All right, well, you know the drill. Good luck, have fun, and may the best team win. And let's jump right into it. I do love the good luck, have fun. Like that's a mark of sportsmanship, the likes of which we like to see. Okay, so Scummy Crabs. I didn't react to the chat before, but of course saw it saying keep it up, boys. Well, it's always nice to see that the wait, DarkSide giving the first bat. It's always nice to see that the team owner is there to see his players play. Trissy, woot woot. Gibby, hey Gibby, how you doing? Aren't you in game? Gibby Gaming saying hi Trissy, and then Trissy saying hi Gibby. And it looks like we're going to be on a path to just having the exact same bans as the map before, with Thatcher IQ being banned in short order. It doesn't seem like either team's hesitated. That countdown jumped to 3-1 pretty darn quickly there. Is it going to be a Wamai? Are we going to be having a carbon copy of the previous bans? It is going to be a Wamai. Okay. Out of curiosity, last ban was an Echo. So DarkSide, you've already made your choice, and yes, Echo is going to be flying out the window. So hey, I mean, it is anecdotal at this point because different maps do have different dynamics, and you know, different operators also do have different dynamics and different maps. So I don't think it's going to be affecting the game that much. Though, I mean, I guess if you want to be sticking Valkyrie cameras to the building on the other side of the street, or, you know, in a few Christmas trees here and there, they could be annoying, which could then warrant an IQ ban, but I'm still a bit torn on that one in particular. Other than that, for example, Blackbeard, right? Blackbeard could have been an extremely good pick because, especially MishMash, do kind of have a history of rappelling up, especially when the defense is located by the bar area, which might very well be happening really soon. DSG though, DarkSide will not be picking top floor first. It seems to be a staple of them at this point, you know, throwing us back to what they did in the very first round of the very first map. But they'll be picking the quote-unquote unexpected bomb site just to throw a MishMash for a spin there. Not that it seems to be working out, once again referring to round one on that one, but it's still worth a shot. I did want to underline the fact that Barry is going to be playing with Kate. So, of course, Kate is going to be the operator that will be attempting to deny hatches and that kind of stuff access to the attackers. Oh, poorly tossed, though. Poorly tossed. The thing is, also, a sledge could fairly easily shoot at that since the top of the wall is not exactly reinforced. But, yeah, of course, with the ventilation shaft right there, the electric wall is going to be protected from above. So, it looks like the attackers, MishMash Gaming really do have two choices. They can either play with the top-down playstyle, so that would be inserting from the top floor, flush nothing roamers, moving down to the second floor, and then, you know, sledge just breaking a few floors. you know, creating a few line of sights with any luck getting 1 or 2. In an ideal situation, 3 kills, which I don't expect to see, and then pushing down into bomb site proper. Or, and it looks like they're going to be going for the vertical approach. Or they could just have a horizontal playstyle coming through the bakery. And yeah, actually, okay, so the gist of it is going to be a horizontal push, and Kenny is there more to, you know, cut off angle lines of sight or cut off rotations than actually to be the core of the strategy itself. He is likely to be peeked right there. Oh, that was Aces just rushing heads down into his... Oh, wait, there's a silhouette thrown over there. Barry. And he has an interest. I could stick it to the ceiling if you wanted to. That would be dangerous. It's gonna be saying, DSG is a great bunch of dudes. Always gotta show them love. Yeah, I didn't realize that you guys know them. I never know, like, the extent of which... with which you know each other. Maddox getting a kill on Magooyus. Did I pronounce that correctly? I already forgot how to say it correctly. 4v3 situation, so MishMash do have the upper hand. But I gotta say, like, you do still have, for example, Maestro, who could be an extremely good plant denial operator. Unfortunately, Magooyus, you know, Smoke, the other plant denial, is off the board. And oh, now losing Leech as well. Natural Cell doing absolutely nothing, unfortunately. And it looks like Joker has been spotted up. Yeah, this is going to be a dire situation. Barry has to pull off a 1v4. Gets 1, 3 more, but gets flanked immediately. MishMash Gaming's diffuser was never in real harm. So there you have it. MishMash, thanks to Kenny, putting a swift end. All things considered, that round didn't last too long. So as I said, putting a swift end to the first round. Wait a minute. I didn't have time to update the content of the replays before displaying it. Sorry about that. As of course, last round's replays are no longer there. There we go. Okay. Echo is not quarantined anymore. No, he's not. Must have yeah, I couldn't find it either. But I heard pros talking about using it.
Attackers are activating the bomb diffuser.
So yeah, I was looking for it as well.
And attackers need to protect the diffuser. Position compromised.
Yeah, because that's the thing, right? It's kind of ironic how I was not using, in that instance, I was not using, you know, Ubisoft's official platform, but rather something unofficial as a pro tweeting about that. Yeah, and at the same time, I gotta say, goddamn Ubisoft, Echo, you know, you might say Echo is a bit too good, which is why he gets banned often. But making abstraction of that kind of little detail, Echo is an integral part of Rainbow Six Siege. Like he's part of the balancing act, and him flying out the window simply because, and I'm sorry about that, but Ubisoft, you done goofed it with your, you know, bug hunting job. That's unfortunate, but then, you know, the community itself has to kind of adapt to that. I know the attackers are spawning in, and MishMash Gaming will be doing some stuff that is going to be worth talking about in a few moments, but I just want to take a moment to underline the difference between, for example, Ubisoft and, say, Riot Games. Because Riot Games, they only exclusively do make esports titles, right? They do own League of Legends, and now, most recently, Valorant. Though Valorant isn't exactly too recent anymore. And if their games aren't, you know, pinpoint perfect, balancing, connection, connectivity issues, that kind of stuff, it's not gonna the game isn't going to be played, and then people are not going to be caring about the competition of that game. Whereas if Ubisoft were to not, say, sell skins on Rainbow Six, well, then they might just be increasing the price of the next, say, Assassin's Creed game, which makes the situation where they don't have, monetarily speaking, they don't have to care too much about Rainbow Six, which is where then we as a community kind of get the short end of the stick. I mean, it's not magic, right? Look at Riot Games. Their games aren't bugged, and it's a first-person shooter as well. How and why is it too complicated for Ubisoft to make a game that is going to be plagued by bugs with every single update? Beats me. You know Joker for quite some time, and Barra used to play for Swift Uprising. Oh, gotcha. But you know, I did mention that MishMash we're going to be doing a few things that are worth mentioning, so let's just take a look on that. Rant over. Maddox seems to be playing verticality, which is something you don't see too often, but I guess it's going to pay off as Leech right now. Oh, but Gibby's going to kill Gibby gets a kill on Barry. Extremely similar names, different players, different kills. There's a drone by the top of the white stairs that is seeing Leech right now. The amount of the precision of that fire, accuracy of that fire is astounding. Char on repelling, getting one but not getting the other as the air jab had already been expended. Maguyus is going to get out of there alive, but he's not going to get in that building alive exactly. So, you know, out of the frying pan and into the boiler, something like that, the expression. The exact expression is eluding me right now, but you absolutely do get what I'm trying to say. Leech, that's the thing. The LMG is not exactly mobile enough for him to react because he was kind of put on the spot there. So Joker, last alive. The Vector has a really good rate of fire. At close range is going to be absolutely devastating, but he was pinched. Top of the white stairs, obviously, and then Axis cutting off the rotation. And that really did put Mira in an unwinnable situation because, of course, she didn't have to peek in a way to expose herself to the skylight. But if she didn't move, like she in that instance did, she would have been a literal sitting duck for Shark to peek and free fire. There was no going around that. DarkSide at that point had already lost the round.
Attackers have recovered.
Which is then going to be considered as another victory for MishMash Gaming. It's going to be interesting to see because they defended the bottom floor, lost, obviously, and now they're going to the top floor. They lost there again. Will they now try for a quote-unquote tertiary bomb site, or will they just keep on defending the top floor until, you know, they figure out what was the reason as to why they lost the round there? And, you know, patching the holes as we go, so to say. It looks, I could see it beneath the replays, but I didn't want to spoil it for you guys. It looks like we're going to be having a tertiary bomb site situation where reading is going to be the chosen area. Though, I gotta say, in some sense, since this map lives or dies, or this bomb site rather, lives or dies by the top floor control, well, DarkSide Gaming will very much be present in a very similar, or in a fairly seems more appropriate, in a fairly similar manner as what we had, compared to what we had before. Castle barricades here and there. He falls back down. There are reinforcements with a mute jammer at the bottom of the floor. At the bottom of the wall, of course, gets blown away piece by piece because you want to be able to deny a plant wherever you are. It kind of goes both ways, though. I mean, if the diffuser does get planted, the attackers, I mean, Kenny, Shar, and the other MishMash guys can absolutely turn this opening against DarkSide Gaming. Double-edged sword is going, or a double-edged sword is going to really, really put the emphasis on DarkSide to not lose control of the bomb site in the first place, which is always a risk inside. I mean, not that I'm complaining or criticizing them for that. It is the default and typical expected play style, don't get me wrong, but I still wanted to underline the inherent trade-off that you're making in that kind of situation. Looks like MishMash are taking very swift control of the top floor, but that castle barricade staying up is actually going to work against Aces, as he now can no longer really just roam in and harass Maddox easily. MishMash just reacting to those castle barricades brilliantly, I gotta say. Like, it boxes off the roamers, and now they can logically attempt a push on A. I mean, they would have to play behind the bomb, but that's nothing out of the realm of the possible, right? They could absolutely go for that. Finally, Axis will be working on the castle barricades. Gibby opening up something else. Oh, wait, weren't there a mute jammer there? Ah, that's gonna be sledged from above. And now we're pushing in. Maguyu's over there, losing a bit of health. He's gonna get flanked if he's not careful. Because that's the thing, right? Defenders are supposed to be static, or are supposed to play for time and not overexpose themselves. But you also shouldn't be complacent, let yourself be surrounded, which is exactly what Maguyus did there. He peeked, got the kill, and alleviated some of the pressure on his person. But that was not enough, as he didn't use, you know, that breather to turn around to deny the plant of the diffuser. And now this is exactly the situation, which could be kind of dangerous, as I guess he could use the bottom of the wall to kind of deny rotations if some attackers wanted to take residence into the dining room. But oh, he is now really, yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about, right? Exactly the opening that is going to be used against him. Axis. Well, completing a formality at this point, right? I didn't see a way for our poor mute to win the round there. I've known Joker since year 1, season 2, all the way back on Xbox. God damn. Okay, now let me just turn this around and try to awaken like nostalgia type of memories. Scummy, how long have I known you for? It was your second. It was your second season on the MGL, right? By the way, impromptu on the spot, sponsor spot. Sounds redundant. Yeah, MishMash. If you're looking for a good console league, they're a good console league. That is extremely short, but it's the gist of it. I gotta say, I'm talking out of my butt here, and I guess you guys are feeling that I'm not taking this match, too seriously. It's not Pro League level as much as I would like it to be, so I'm not going to go about the match with a Pro League level of seriousness and quote-unquote professionalism, right? If I have a brain fart, I'm just gonna be saying it out loud, such as in any typical industry, if a company has a competitor, that company is then logically going to wish that their competitor like fails or performs miserably, because that would imply that the first company has a bigger market share or is doing better or any kind of stuff. But right here, any kind of other tournament, community tournament organizer, we're just a big community that wishes well on everybody, and that's amazing to see, because I mean, community tournament organizers, some of them are legit, LLCs, legit companies, and still like helping each other out and just giving tips and tricks and not like hoarding knowledge or anything. That's something that you see rarely, and I guess you have like the gaming community at large, or the gaming community, let's say culture at large, to thank for that. Right here, Aces is going to get pushed. He is facing off against a lot of attackers, but the white stairs right there, there's going to be Ash. Oh, his sight was directly on Kenny's head. It looks like the one bullet hadn't time to come out of the gun, while the aim was turned on his head before he actually died. SCG as Slaycon Gaming, I think it was called. Yeah, fun. Yo, he said Maguyu's right. I said Maguyu's right. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, there should be something. Like I said, if any random shower thought comes through my head, I'm gonna have to say it. It would be amazing if we were to have some like quirky, fun, or goofy community, awards at the end of the season. For example, the messed up gamer, the gamer tag, the gamer tag I didn't manage to mess up the most often. Kind of awards for having the most amounts of aces, pulling up the most amount of clutches, or most often diffuser being planted. I don't know, right? Any kind of goofy. Somebody dropped there. He didn't see that. Oh no, that's a lot dropped from the outsides. Nice kill by Maddox. We kind of missed that. But yeah, okay, so Gibby dropped through the window, which is why I kind of actually blame Leech for not shooting at that falling silhouette. Okay, gotcha. So, DarkSide. In a 2v4 situation, yeah, that is looking intense now. They were able to more or less hold on their own, or fend for themselves on the first map, but that kind of momentum or energy just collapsed in between the two maps, and that is a bit disappointing, because like we've seen it before. It's like, no, that's just disrespectful at this point. The impact nade. Yeah, DarkSide were able to win a few rounds here and there before, but not anymore. And we know they're capable of it. They've done it before, like I said. But that once again is going to be a near flawless round for MishMash. They only lost a single player there, and yeah, that's a kind of disadvantage you can't easily overcome. If it was a 1v1 situation, you could argue, okay, any given firefight could really go either way, but that situation doesn't really apply here. So yeah, if you are rooting for DarkSide, now might be the time to hope for, a hidden ace up their sleeve. Now would be the time to pull it out. Okay, yeah, so, yeah, I haven't been keeping a good track of that put on where? Round number 3 wasn't bar again. MishMash, of course, won that. Now we went to kitchen. MishMash won that again. And now we're off to round number 5, which will be drum roll. Please, impact nade. Disrespectful. Well, I guess I can't blame Maddox because he's getting peaked, and I guess you fire whatever's in your hands at that moment. But yeah, that is unfortunate for our poor Maestro, was it? Because, yeah. As I said, drumroll please, a bar again. So really just a back and forth and nothing gives in. DarkSide are just desperate for an answer at this point, and they're going to be trying everything. No, we didn't go bar on round 3. We went reading room. Okay. That flash of realization aside. Top floor defense. We've tried this before. Of course, that didn't work too great for MishMash, but they did make 1 or 2 mistakes that didn't need to be, right? Leech kind of was stuck in that general area, and was it Axis on the skylight? Got an easy kill. And the last one was Mira. Joker, I'm gonna say. That, you know, famously peaked from the freezer because he was being pushed from the top of the white stairs, and that allowed Axis from the skylight to get a kill on him. And if you're able to avoid making these 2 unfortunate but deadly mistakes, I mean, keeping 2 players alive when you would have otherwise lost them can absolutely turn the tide of a single round. So I'm going to be wishing them best of luck, but once again, the momentum is absolutely not in their favor. Now might be an extremely crucial time for DarkSide to, at the very least, try to slow down MishMash's momentum, because if not, a path to victory from that point on is going to be extremely difficult for them. I mean, it feels like Barry is going to be pushed out without actually being fired at. What was it? Like, Supreme Excellence is breaking the enemy's will without actually fighting. More or less what's happening to Barry right here. As far as the first room is concerned, right? He's not going to just surrender outright. Because that quote is more or less, is more apt into, like, real life war than just, like, video game war. But you get the general idea I'm trying to make here. I'm trying to convey here. Magooyus is in the freezer over there. Okay, so he's not going to be directly in the bathroom, therefore he's not going to be directly menacing to Kenny, but he has problems of his own. Oh, that shield being destroyed, that of course forces Magooyus even back in furthermore, and now that Axis is going to be on the skylights, there's not really a way out for him. He's going to just stay there until he dies, and hopefully, from his point of view, he is going to take 1 or 2 enemies with him. But that's just about the extent of what he could be hoping for at this point. Barry tried to get a kill with the Nitro Cell, but of course that air jab was a bit of a problem. Joker is also going to fall down, leaving us with a 2v4 situation, 2v5 situation actually. And yeah, things happen pretty darn quickly here. But the gist of it is, Smoke tried to get out, he got cut off, and Melusi also died when running up the stairs. Or was it Pulse? It was Pulse. Bye. That is now it for round number 5. A 5-0 scoreline for MishMash Gaming is an extremely big advantage that they have right now. If we were asking of DarkSide to win 3 rounds in a row on the last map this time around, yeah, it's going to be a 5 points comeback, or even a 6 points comeback if MishMash were to win the next round, which, given the current state of things, it was Melusi who wasn't in a situation to run up the stairs, but she got cut off. Hi. That's just details at this point. You get the idea. MishMash are on their way to winning a flawless map, and DarkSide Gaming have no momentum. They seem to be more or less desperate, and that is not looking too great for them, especially considering that they lost the first map.
Bomb located by attacker.
So yeah, it's basically now or never. MishMash could, in an extreme situation, allow themselves to just throw the entire map, because they would just allow themselves to go into our third map, which would be, let me just remind myself, Oregon. It should be Oregon if it was to happen. But DarkSide are in no such a situation.
10 seconds left before
So, reinforcing here, reinforcing there. 2 walls, 2 walls. What is Aces doing? Playing quite aggressive. I gotta say I like it, in the sense that if the conventional wisdom doesn't work out, you're gonna have to try something new. The attempt has been made. I can't blame him. I mean, nobody was spawned there. And it's nice to see them still try something new. If what we have been doing up until now just flat out does not pan out for us, it's time to try to update our playstyles, which is, well, good. Let's see if the update is going to be limited to an attempted spawn kill which failed, or if they are going to be a bit more insistent with their aggressivity, roaming style, or even if it was to, you know, mix up the way you properly anchor into a bomb site. For example, there is a heck of a lot of plant denial operators at play here. I mean, if you look at it this way, there is Maestro, of course, Smoke, of course, and Goyo. Well, Goyo might be a bit more of a, say, doorway denial operator, if I can put it that way, because you usually would have the Vulcan shield in doorway rather than in the middle of a room to then detonate it, because the shield can, of course, also provide some kind of cover. But yeah, all these three operators combined together can absolutely delay a push until a critical phase or a critical moment in the round has been reached. However, having this kind of overlap in the team's composition is also going to leave them vulnerable to a lot of different playstyles. I mean, for example, no intel-based operators whatsoever. Oh, there, here's going to find a quick and merciless death by the hand of Maddox. Looks like Leech is firing back, but not exactly. No weapon was firing towards Maddox. Here is going to be losing yet another bit of health. Oh, and that electrical has also been destroyed in the meantime, thus allowing the hatch to be opened up. But all things considered, with like a minute remaining on the clock, if you were to combine small canisters, Evil Eye, and Vulcan Shield Fire, I guess I can see the countdown reaching 0 before MishMash actually get the diffuser down, especially since the kills are, for the first time since the beginning of the map as a whole, going DarkSide's way. 2v4 situation for the orange team. We haven't seen this in Cafe at all so far. So hey, welcome addition, and the default cannon can still be an up. Wow. I know MishMash have been doing a lot on the vertical front, but it seems like they've done nothing, you know, on the first floor itself. Kenny is not going to be pushing in, but he sees no one. And, you know, Evil Eye is going to be problematic. It's going to be destroyed pretty quickly. That's unfortunate. Evil Eye could have probably hidden away once he realized that Ash was reloading. But, oh, no. Double kill for Kenny. With the pistol now to the right, though. It was aces. It was aces. And there you have it. DSG winning their first round. Like I said, a round they absolutely need. But dare I say, it's still too little too late. I mean, we're in a 5-1 situation. So that kind of implies that, you know, DarkSide Gaming would need 5 rounds in a row to bring this into overtime. And that's not too likely. Like I said before they won the round, I said before they had yet to win a single round, and now that they won the one, they've shown us that it is possible, but they yet have to win them constantly in a consistent manner, which would then, you know, make us hopeful. That is still a lot to ask from them. So yeah, Booyah saying my feet cold fuck. Kurt saying my boy Maddox crazy. Yes, yeah, just do try to not, you know, type your entire message in caps, because the bot doesn't like that too much. And Lighter Fluid saying mad rally. Okay, so that was the role swap that occurred behind the replays. I mean, you guys know it. By round number 7, the teams will be swapping roles. Therefore, MishMash Gaming are now defending, and they will be defending the first floor on kitchen. And that seems to be an external hold, if I can call it that. Wow, where's our heart tonight? But the idea being that a lot of defenders will not be staying on LBJ itself. Maddox, for example, is double tapping those windows as if he intends to run out eventually during the round. Kenny on the top floor setting up some kind of a dark zone, denying the attackers to join him out. And considering if the hatch has been reinforced here, I'm not exactly sure what the plan is, because they didn't like reinforce a fake room or anything. Number 1, and number 2, that hatch would usually be used for like fleeing away purposes by the defender itself or himself. I mean, at this point, you're only really denying an Amaru a shot at the hatch, which would realistically never even happen. So yeah, a third floor hold by Shar and Kenny. A second floor hold by Maddox. But it looks like DarkSide aren't even going for the vertical push. Or part of them are definitely, but like Barry and Leech are working on a horizontal intake instead. And yeah, since there was only Axis and Gibby on OBJ, now only Gibby is left. If they push in quickly, and you know, also if MishMash Gaming's coordination was to be off just at the wrong moment, I could very easily see a swift diffuser plant and a swift retake situation forced into MishMash's lap. Right here, this is, yeah, precarious. Because that's the thing, that's like the inherent trade-off. If you want to have a lot of map control, that means the defenders are going to be spread out, and thus they'll be far and few in between on OBJ itself. Char getting a first kill. There's a salute right there. I'm not sure who that is. Oh, that was Nomad. But the run up by Maddox. Oh, that's the play. Gotcha. So by having somebody around train and mining, it ensures that when you run out, you can then run back into, well, said mining without having an attacker waiting for you. Got it. Oh, well, that's actually big brains. big brains by MishMash. And that is going to be proving resourceful and useful, but only partially. So like I said, being spread out, of course, you don't have too much, you have a lot of map control, but your control over that part of the map is usually flimsy, which we could see. Kenny died, Axis died, and no refrag situation happened, you know, after those kills. As a result of those kills, DarkSide, well, they lost two players once again to the extended hold that MishMash had, but you can hardly argue that they got the upper hand out of that. Once again, it's a 3-3 situation. The equilibrium still holds, though it was extremely time consuming. There's 32 seconds on the clock left, and they have yet to properly begin their push on OBJ itself. Smoke is just going to be choking Joker out. He gets the kill though. Nicely done. So 2v3 situation. Okay, that's a bit more encouraging, I guess. But still, you have yet to even attempt to hit on OBJ. This attempt is going to be made right now. Important kills happening. Gibby now falling to the floor. Maddox, last player alive. He is going to get one. Looking for a second, but Diffuser is likely to be planted by Leech in the meantime. If he was Maestro, if he was Echo, it wouldn't fly. But oh, she wanted to get up. No, he's gonna get that. Maddox with a quad kill. That's the thing, right? Leech was just standing up, recovering or finding his bearings. And yeah, Maddox, that is Klein's side for you. We don't see him as being right there, and I bet we're looking through his left eyes. But please do destroy the Diffuser as, yeah, you won the round, but not yet the game at this point. I'm already thinking about round number, that's gonna be 8. Wow.
Bomb defusing attempt failed.
Yeah, MishMash have a realistic shot at winning this map in a 7-1 fashion. That is a huge lead, which we don't see too often. Watch Maddox ace right now. It was not exactly an ace. Still a quad. By... let's just replays. It was a quad by Maddox. Yeah. So, just checking in real quick. Yeah, so the kill leaderboards, just pull it up here while the replays were showing, is still roughly the same in the sense that Maddox is going to be the top fragger for MishMash Gaming, and on DarkSide, it is still going to be aces. So all around, I mean, the dynamic hasn't shifted around too much. Of course, MishMash Gaming have more kills because they are winning more rounds all around, but the proportions or the ratios are still roughly the same. Receiving notifications on Gilded. It looks like the one game has been finished. Okay. Okay. And they're talking to other admins. I don't know if they're going to be needing help or if it's just that the one match has been is over and they want to add the scores to them. Okay, they're uploading more files on their own. Perfect. Yeah. Boy, okay, how do you say that gamer tag? Booyah Bligums. Booyah Bligums. I'm just gonna call you Booyah. Yeah, Booyah saying Maddox is Maddox. Yep, it is absolutely a circular definition. If you're saying Maddox is Maddox, but I don't know what Maddox is, then I'm not gonna know what Maddox is. But that's just me overthinking things. Because as you said, Maddox is Maddox, and that absolutely explains, well, the power dynamic that we're seeing right here. Mad Docs. Yep, that is. Okay. With that being said, you know, me goofing around aside, Gibby here is hiding behind a Vulcan shield, 3 ADS devices in tow. So a lot, and I do mean a lot of utility has been used up to protect that angle by Gibby, and that comes with a really, really dangerous trade-off in the sense that if anybody anywhere else gets an aid, they are going to be done for. Right here, that's going to be a first explosion happening. Nothing, of course, got hit there. Maddox in tow on the in the dead angle right there. There is a Joker's drone, like DarkSide. They do want to make sure that there's absolute. Oh, and right there, kills are already happening. They just want to make sure that there's nobody roaming on the first floor or second for what it's worth. And real quick, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 silhouettes. Okay, so every single defender is well and truly on or around OBJs. So yeah, anchors by proxy at most, but no roamers proper. Gibby here got a nice kill. That's going to be another one to add to the collection. Magoo with the S at the end is going to be probing, but that's the thing, right? The attackers could enter in from anywhere on the map, aside from like the hatches or other obvious entryways, because no roamers are going to be expecting them, for example, at the bottom of the right stairs. That is, yeah, playing that game is slightly dangerous. Leech is just going to be rushing in through the smoke, through the toxic smoke. Maddox, yeah, no. I can't even explain what's happening before it actually is over, because it takes a few seconds to formulate a proper sentence, but it only takes one single click for Smoke to get a kill with the one-tap shotgun when you're within range, like he was right there. So congrats to Gibby for getting the final kill count. Congrats to Maddox for, well, being Maddox. Once again, wink wink, referring to what the chat said before. Oh, and congrats for the diamond, by the way. And all around, like 13-4, you could just see that their morale was absolutely crushed. There's no way to keep your spirits high when you're doing, when like the entire team is doing 3 to 8s. If I am having like 3 to 8 performances, but I'm droning, I'm playing Montaigne, I'm playing like hard support, I guess that could still fly. But when the entire team, when your typical nominal performance is that low, yeah, it's hard, and it absolutely was hard. MishMash Gaming just crushed DSG. Booyah saying, I pray to Maddox. Hey, if Maddox has the power to grant your wishes, why not? Yep, so that was cool. And extremely one-sided.
Hans, would you like a interview tonight or no?
Yes, absolutely. I was going to ask you that.
Alright, cool, I got it.
Awesome. Well, just hit me up on Discord and I'll be answering your call.
Sounds good. Perfect.
Yeah, the I'll be answering your call part maybe was a little bit redundant, but there you go. Twitch.tv/DA League. Pull up the VOD of this. Oh, he's actually calling on Gilded. Hey there, Kenny. How are you doing?
I'm good, Hans. How are you?
I'm doing amazing, though I guess you're doing a bit better because you just won. It's my go-to sentence. I say this every single time. Though I gotta say, at the end of the round, at the end of the match there, I mean, it was extremely one-sided. There's no way around it. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. So since the suspense was kind of gone, I was taking this casting like lighthearted, in a lighthearted way. And we were talking about, or I was jumping into a few random subjects, and I did like the ambiance while still having absolute beastly level of skill being displayed. So if I was to jump into a very first question, you won the first round, first map, I'm talking about Villa. You won the first round fairly easily. It was like a crazy aggressive rush, worked flawlessly. But then the second round, I believe you lost it in a flawless manner, as in you didn't kill a single player of their team. So that's like an extreme, I might be wrong, but you still lost the second round pretty brutally. So that's like a complete 180. So were you at all worried or maybe like taken aback at the seeming like disparity between the two first rounds when you're looking at like the results that you were able to manage?
The first round we did like a horizontal rush on kitchen,
yep.
And we knew after that round that well, we were pretty confident because we knew that they weren't vodding us. Like they didn't VOD our attacks because we've shown that attack before, and they, to be completely surprised by it was kind of surprising for us. And then the next round, yeah, it was a rough one. They flanked up red on us, and they got an entry pick on Char from trophy door, or from map door. So it was kind of frustrating that round, but we felt that it was just like little things, timing, things that were kind of out of our control that lost us that round, and we weren't really clicking on attack on Villa. I think we went 3-3 split.
Yep.
Which we felt that we could have done a lot better. These guys are a good group of guys, but we're very competitive, and we thought that we should have won Villa like we did Cafe, like a 7-1 or even a 7-0. We just beat ourselves in those 3 rounds that we lost on attack.
Gotcha. Thank you for that. I mean, to be completely frank with you, I don't have that many questions. Simply put, like, it was really, really one-sided. So there's not, first of all, too many rounds to look at. And second of all, since it was one-sided, there's not too many, like, mistakes or slip-ups that you made, which I could all around, like, analyze and that kind of stuff. So you said they weren't voting you. And, of course, that means you could just go to your go-to play style, I assume. Like, you weren't trying to mix things up or keep it fresh because, well, your default was still unknown, correct?
Yeah, that's correct, and we knew that means that they didn't change any of their attacks or defense, so we had a VOD on them on Cafe, which I think led to the 7-1. Kind of helped us as they didn't change any of their holds.
Got you. So in a sense, if I was to turn this around, and because I like to do this whenever there's an extremely one-sided match, just to take the winning team and say, hey, I know this is technically against your best interest, but if you were to give them, a piece of advice, what would you say to them? I guess voting would be a really, really basic suggestion in a competitive setting.
Oh, yeah, 100%. It's the easiest way to get free rounds. Like the reading hold for them on their reading defense, we knew exactly how they were going to hold it, and we attacked specifically a way that we thought was weak on their hold, and then we destroyed them on that site, and they couldn't go back there. So that's a huge thing. If you VOD, we have VODs on like every team in this.
Yep. Yeah, gotcha. You were talking about the reading, right? My short-term memory isn't the best, but I'm not that shit. So yeah, of course, like you not destroying the castle barricade in piano allowed you to drop down without worrying about the Jaeger roaming there, and then you just pushed into, or you could have pushed into the dining hall. You didn't do that. You ended up going, but that was like an odd series of movements and rotations, like going into the piano, then dropping down, then rotating towards pillars to open up the thermite. I guess it worked, so I'm not there to criticize or anything like remotely similar to that. But if you were to just look at it in a bubble, like it would be a weird set of movements. But then, like you said, voting and everything. Voting seems to be the theme of this interview.
Yeah, it
so,
is. Yeah, and also I'm gonna call out Gibby because he was thermite and he did his own thing there for fireplace or for.
Okay, so that wasn't part of the plan.
Planned. No, but he did it. I don't know why, but he did.
I guess it worked.
Yeah, that it did.
So yeah, like I said,
direction.
I mean, hey, that's for both of your teams. Like you guys, of course, you're calling everything out, and I guess you're not to be too caught off guard, but it worked. So once again, congratulations. And like I said, I don't have too many different questions or anything. So my last question, once again, regarding like your impression of DarkSide Gaming, because you're currently ranked third in the group. Of course, top 4 teams make it into the playoffs, so your spot in the playoffs is not exactly menaced, or anything remotely similar to that. But still, you were playing against the 6th team, and considering that the 8th team has actually been kicked and they're standing at 0 points, but they're still technically in the standing because of the way Gilded works. So you played against a team that was, ranked lower than you, and yet it looks like on a face-to-face firefight, like reflexes or accuracy, you were more or less trading it blow for blow. So assuming they had voted you, or if you hadn't voted them, or if you were going in an equal footing in any other sense of the word, Do you think they would be a worthy or equal opponent, or is there anything else that made you feel like really comfortable going into this match? Once again, except for the VOD, because we've talked about that a lot.
That's a good question. They're a good team. I think we have a little bit more fragging power than they do, and I think that we played a little bit more like, as oriented than they did as well. But they've got a couple of good players, and Barry is a really good support guy that they have. So the team is better than their standings, I believe.
Okay.
They're better than the last team that we played, in my opinion. But
Was
I
that
could see
Polar
them.
Pandas? Sorry, I cut you off there.
No,
Did you
it
play
was
against
it was the other like Surf.
Surf? Gotcha.
Esports.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm nothing against them, but the DarkSide Gaming is a good team, and they'll win some games. I know I think
Yeah.
they only have one win right now, but they're not far off of competing against like us and OnlyFans.
Yeah, yeah. I see. I absolutely see what you mean. Because in a sense, I'm not sure if that's actually the case. I would have to look into it. But for the sake of time, I'm not. I'm just going to assume here. It is entirely possible that their beginning of the season has matched them against like the best teams back to back to back. And then they're maybe going to get like easier matches and therefore easier victories as the season progresses and goes on, which would then in turn allow them to up their placement in the standings. I mean, I'm not saying it necessarily happened, but it's
That's very
absolutely
likely.
possible.
Like I know Thirsty Bastard Gamings, they haven't played us or OnlyFans yet.
True, which is
So-
why they're above you right now.
Yeah. But we're
Why?
excited.
Okay, me saying this really did tip my personal belief of the fact that you guys are going to win against them. I have to remain neutral and everything, but I'm allowed to have, of course, my own predictions and opinions of who is better than who. Once again, nothing against Thirsty Bastards, but they seem to be like a group of friends, a talented group of friends. But you're like a proper org with like, Kenny, you're no longer like only doing the coaching stuff because you're actually playing right now. But you get what I mean, right?
Oh yeah, that's true. We
with-
do have a new coach.
Oh,
Hold down. You might see him in chat. He's our main coach, or he's the coach.
I didn't know that. Okay, so you're really retired as a coach then.
I am. Yes, I'm back into a player. I've been re-signed.
Gotcha. So yeah, I mean, my exact members' names might be off a little bit there, but at the end of the day, you still do have like a support system. Whereas I believe they're just a bunch of talented players, which would, once again, not to take anything away from them, but that would in a sense make them hardly better than Rank Stars, basically, and not the Rank Stars team because those
I was gonna
guys
say,
had cheaters.
Yeah, we smacked them. Sad it wasn't on stream, but we're glad.
Yeah, I
cheaters
heard
are
there was
gone.
beef between you guys. Yeah. I mean, I have told that I have shared a bit of that with Scummy, because I mean, MishMash, you guys are also tournament organizers. So I did tell that to him, but I'm not going to disclose too much of that. But we have been building tools internally to allows us or to help us with spotting cheaters, and these guys are the first ones to be thrown out as a result of that. So yeah, results
Keep it
are
coming.
being
Keep
displayed.
it coming. Yep. As many cheaters as we can get out of this game, the better.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? The cheaters don't necessarily get spotted by Ubisoft because, of course, I mean, the accounts are still being used to play online, ergo our tournaments. But the thing is, like, they're actually being watched very closely and not just by a generic algorithm. Like, they have actual human eyes on them. So, hey, yeah, I think that's been a pretty good interview. I don't want to keep you up too long either. I mean, the match was so much short, so I guess I could, but I'm not going to be pushing my luck or holding you down for too long. Yeah, so that my remaining real quick announcements of the night. Okay, so there were 3 games happening in parallel tonight. Let me just get into the games calendar. 5 Mans against Surf Esports, your match, of course, and then NTNS Gaming against Arson. That match is over. I'm receiving MOS files as we speak. You guys will be sending me MOS files shortly. Oh, you know what? By the way, Kenny, I am just going to be enabling a screen share real quick. Please work. That's not going to work. Okay, so I'll be doing this off cam from the
There you go. I can see
screen's
it.
perspective. Wait.
I can see your screen from in this chat.
Okay, that's weird. Okay, yeah. So if you go into the match chat, you should have a button like talk to admins or contact admins somewhere.
Okay.
And that actually creates another group or a group chat similar to this one, but without the other team. So if you had a protest or anything, that would be a good way of having like a private chat between you and I. And the idea is if you could please submit the MOS files through this feature, because then instead of getting then, yeah, please. Because then instead of receiving like them per DMs, like I still have the MOS file attached to the game, and it's really easier for me to like trace it back where it belongs.
Perfect. Yep. No problem.
Thank you very much. That slight detail aside. Yeah. So once again, congratulations. A few other matches going on tonight. So a few other, updates to the standings are going to be made. Furthermore, there's going to be 2 matches tomorrow. But I have a personal obligation that prevents me from casting them, which is why our default times are on Monday and Wednesday. So real quick, when you guys see, I'm just going to be using that overview for the stream. Whenever you guys are seeing, I added the color code legend at the top here recently. Green means the game is not going to get casted. Red means it's going to be casted on the main channel. And purple, the new one, means it gets casted on a community channel. In that instance, it would be Astral VFX. He's going to be casting in French, but a French VOD, from an American perspective or for an Anglophone perspective, a French VOD is better than no VOD at all.
Sure.
So there's that, and then there's going to be the Friday games. And yes.
Perfect.
So with that being said, have an amazing rest of the night, Kenny. I won't be holding you any longer. Congratulations, and see you again next week if my schedule allows for that.
Sounds good. Yeah, you do the same. Have a good one.
All right, see you, man. And yeah, I believe that's basically what I had to say tonight. I am still going to be going through a last few bullet points, repeating things I said before. Oh yeah, baby, keep it coming. Yeah, actually, Scummy, I might. You know what, Scummy? That game was pretty short. I would like to call you after the stream. Let me actually, now that we are no longer in need of. No, not that one. This intermission screen is better. Now, yeah, this stream was fairly short, so I could maybe talk to you after the stream, because I believe you had a few technical questions regarding map ban and a few things I would like to share with you. But with that being said, I had a few last tiny little to-do things on the to-do list, namely, and neither are actually requiring us to do that, but we do have 2 sponsors this season. The first one is, of course, Gilded, as you may see by every single time we make a post on Twitter. And Gilded, they're like a Discord competitor in the sense that, they have text channels, and it's extremely similar. You guys saw it, right? If I pull up a text chat and just go back on that POV, it looks just like Discord. But it does more than Discord does, in the sense that they don't have just text or voice channels. So they also have, for example, document channels, calendar channels, announcement channels, or multimedia channels. And that is like really powerful, in the sense that if you wanted to have something like this in Discord, you would have to just spam a channel with YouTube VOD links. And you couldn't even like somehow shoehorn a text channel into a calendar format. So I think it has like some really strong features, something that, and they just recently added the tournament management feature, which is what we're being paid to use and like to bring people over by having them register to our tournaments. And once again, I'm not being paid to say good things about them, but I personally think that they have been one of the best things that happened to us, because before I had a lot of manual management to do on Discord, and that was time consuming. Now I can spend so much more free time to manage and to cultivate the community, because the technical aspects take care of their own. Also, they have a few items such as an automated scrim finder. Like you're looking for a scrim, another team's looking for a scrim, and they have like an automated algorithm that will match you again. That will match you together. Like no more posting 5 messages in 5 different LFS streams, LFS Discord channels, Discord servers, and then like keeping track of everything. That can be a nightmare. And they also have a few things for teams such as availabilities. I believe I have one like right here, something scheduling. So if I say I'm free here, my teammates will do the same, and when every lines correspond to each other, well, that's when we're going to be screaming. And lastly, the other one I wanted to showcase real quick is, of course, MishMash. And no, it is no It is no conflict of interest because MishMash Gaming are also a console tournament organizer, and they're organizing Rainbow Six Siege leagues, but on consoles, which is something that's really hard to do because the community over there is something. Of course, they're a good team, but I'm talking about the console part of it. They also organize like Call of Duty competitions, and I do believe you guys also did something on PUBG before, or you've done something on PUBG at some point. Not sure if that keeps on happening, if you guys are still organizing, but like they're literally the biggest NA, at least the biggest Rainbow Six console tournament organizer. Well, with that being said, I'm going to be taken off because I think I've said enough, and I will be taking up any more of your time. Of course, do keep an eye out on the standings because 3 matches being played at the very same time is going to be bringing a lot of updates to the thing. Fuck off, stream element. Yeah, Scummy Crab saying, dude, I'm already in bed. Okay, well, I tried. And yeah, all right, so with that being said, have an amazing rest of the night. Next community stream is going to be tomorrow. Next stream on this very channel is going to be this Friday or at 8:30 p.m. Oh gosh, that's going to be late. At 8:30 p.m. Until then, have an amazing rest of the night. See you all next time, and until then, take care. Bye-bye.
Seconds remaining. Attackers have recovered go. Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser. Operators, you are out of time. Attackers have located a bomb.
Bye.